Hey guys, this is Heretic, and in this video I'm going to talk about using the scout to your advantage. So what is a scout? I'm going to start at the most basic. So a scout is literally you pick an enemy castle, or you pick a castle, and let's pick one. Let's pick one of these guys over here, and you go to scout. And it uses up a march. So if you have 5 marches, you can send 5 scouts out. I don't recommend always sending 5. It's always good to keep 1 march in your pocket and ready to go. But a scout will go out and it will literally just scout them. It will find information about that castle. So here's one that I did 18 minutes ago. So I can see what resources he has. I can see what troops he has at home. The number one reason you want to do this, and there's all kinds of good information that you can see here. You can see a long history of scouts, but the reason you want to do this is when you're fighting another alliance, you want to see if they're over their hospital capacity. You don't know exactly what their hospital capacity is, but let's say in this guy's case, he has 41,000 troops at home, and he is castle level 31. He's not over cap. So if I attack him, all I can do is send those 41,000 troops to the hospital, right? And if he gets reinforced, I could potentially either lose troops or I'll have to use my SOS, which you can only use once a day. So at the very basic level, it's just going to give you troop information for the castle that you're scouting. So who can you scout? You can't scout anyone in the same alliance that you're in with your castle that you're scouting. You can scout anyone else. You can scout friendly castles as well. You'll get a little pop-up and then you say yes. That's okay. So the second reason why you're going to want to scout, and this to me is the most important one and is kind of the focus of my point to this video, is you want to scout, and not just you, but your alliance needs to scout on a very regular basis and not always at the same time. Like if your enemy knows that you're going to be scouting at 8 a.m. every day, then they're going to be prepared for that scout. So you want to scout throughout the day, and you want to scout enough over time that your enemy lets their guard down. They're used to those scouts. The scouts are not always followed up by an attack, right? So you may scout every single day at 4 a.m. and you may never attack at 4 a.m. And so they are just used to that scout coming at 4 a.m. And without the follow-up attack, so they let their guard down, and then you can attack on the 5th day or the 10th time you do it. You can attack at that time and it would be a surprise. Also, if you're always scouting, they're always expecting that. They're never expecting it that just means an attack is coming. So they begin to let that guard down and you do get a surprise, because the problem with the scout is they get a warning. So they're online, they're doing something else, they get a notification on their phone, they go into the game, they see that a scout's coming, and they say, oh wow, I'm over hospital capacity, I'm going to go ahead and send these troops over to the fortress. I'm going to go ahead and hide some troops with my friend. Or, hey guys, I might be attacked now, Heretic's scouting me, so let's get ready. So they all reinforce. So that's the problem with scouting your enemy, right? Is if you do it infrequently and it's always followed up by an attack, it's not very effective. The effectiveness comes from doing it randomly and consistently over time. So remember that. So your alliance, if you want to win a war, you're going to have to scout a lot. And you're going to have to scout all of the time. You're going to have to scout enough that the enemy doesn't anticipate that from a scout there's going to be an attack. Okay, I've belabored that point a little bit. So the other thing that you're going to want to do in scouts is you're going to want to scout people in your alliance. And so you're going to want to build up an alt or someone within your alliance, build up a farm alt. You could have a friendly alliance do it as well, but I would prefer to do it yourselves, right? You're going to want to be scouting on a pretty regular basis your own players to make sure they're not overcapped. So let's dig into scouts a little bit. So the information that you get back in a scout, let's take a look again over here. Let's pick someone random. So the information you get back here, again, you get the resources, you get the count of troops, you get their overall kind of technology here, so you know what you're actually hitting. So I'm getting that information because of my tower. And so if you look here, and this goes for all buildings if you don't know, if you go click the building, then go to details and go to more information, you'll get more information, right? And so each level here on the left gives you the scouting effect. So the higher the level of your tower, the more information you're going to get back. You want to shoot for level 19 because that's going to give you exact number of defensive troops of the castles that you're scouting. Below 19 will give you ranges, so it'll say between 50 and 100k or between 100k and 500k troops. While that can be beneficial at the beginning because that's all you're going to have, right? No one's going to have the tower 19s. Later on, you're going to want exacts because you're going to want to judge whether or not that castle has enough hospital capacity to cover the troops that they have at home. So remember, the tower is important for you to level up for scouting. It's the only building that's important for scouting. There's no kind of research or anything else that's going to help you with your scouts. So the next thing, you can only scout people who are open like this, who don't have the Peace Shield and do not have the Battle Fog. Battle Fog you can't see under it. The only purpose of Battle Fog is to keep people from scouting you. Peace Shield keeps people from attacking you and from scouting you. So remember that. So what can you do if you have someone like me here, and let's say I'm in the middle of your farm? What can you do to see if I can be attacked, like if I should be attacked? How can I get more information about that castle? What I would do is, and let's go over and let's find some. So we have these two castles right here, and both of them have Battle Fog on. And so I can't scout them. If I try to scout them, it says I can't do it. So the other thing that I can do, and you want to do this quickly, if your idea is to go ahead and attack, you'll want to select them, go to Rally, set out, immediately go over to Alliance Battles, and you can see here the information that's important here is to the right of these little shields, or these helmets, it says 1. That means it's just Doomhead. He doesn't have anyone reinforcing him, right? So that's the information that I can get there. Because on a normal scout, so if I scout anyone here, and let's look at one of the old scouts and not have to sit and wait for a scout to appear. So this scout here went out. If I scroll down to the bottom, if they had someone reinforcing them, it would say defensive troops, and it would show who and how many troops are actually reinforcing them. It would show who was reinforcing how many, what troops they have, and that sort of thing. And it just gives you more information, because if you're going to do a speed attack or a timed attack with your alliance and they have 1,000,000 troops, you need to make sure that you can overwhelm them with your troops so that you take less losses. And so that's, you can see that in the attack video where I kind of discussed that, like when to attack and how to keep the number of troops, the troop losses down. But another thing that you can do is you can attack them with a very small number of troops. You need to send enough troops to actually start the battle so that then you get a report from the battle. If you send too few, it'll say that they overwhelmed you, that the difference in power was so great that it basically doesn't give you any information. So you need to send enough, and that might be 5,000, 10,000. It might be a full angel dust run. That might be the best way to do it. But that's another way to get information from the enemy. And that's actually a pretty good way, because then you get real information from an actual battle. So yeah, constant, consistent scouts, choosing targets that are over capacity. Let me show you one, for example. Here, there's a guy, oh, that's a battle report. That's not my scout report. Scout report's over here. And so there's a guy here that has been pretty consistently over cap. So this guy right here is consistently over cap. Let's see, and in this one, he's at 213. I've seen him 250s at home. He's going to take quite a few losses, and it's not just low-level losses either. It's he's got quite a few of his higher level, like T7s, T6s, T5s here. Real losses, right? Something you don't want to take. But we're at war, so, you know. And so I'm pretty consistently scouting him. So, and I've attacked. But whenever I scout, I don't want to immediately attack if it's a part of a lot of scouts going out. I want to make sure that I'm not giving away the attack. And so I watch it. This attack this morning, so I had scouted over 3 days, and almost every single time he was over cap. So this morning I attacked, and he was not over. So I'll show you this attack. So he was not over cap. So he did not lose. I mean, he lost 35 troops. So it's not worth dealing with. I lost more. So he did a good job in that he was able to hide his troops when he thought I was attacking, or, you know, it may just be coincidence. In the morning he's around, he sends troops out to go do different things, like sends them to the elite mines or whatever. In this case, the scout didn't work too well, but that's not always the case, because I do have attacks out here that were pretty bad for people. So on this one, I had scouted this guy, Ibrahim, and he had 418,000 home. He did it twice. On this one, he had them all home, and it's a high number. This is the start of a realm, so not many people have 1 million troops home, maybe 2-3 people at max. So I felt like I needed to get out there and attack immediately. And yeah, he was able to get reinforcements because I did that. If I would have waited until the morning, or if I would have waited, 10 hours or 12 hours, then he probably would not have been prepared for the reinforcements. Now, if he would have logged in that time, he would have seen my scout. He would have said, "Oh damn, I'm over cap. I gotta send some of these troops away," potentially as well. So it could work either way. And that's why I think that if you do it consistently over time, if I scouted this guy every day for 3 weeks but didn't attack, you may see that first scout would be high. The second, third, fourth might be low. He might be hiding the troops when he sees a scout. But then after that, I bet, just by human nature, he would stop worrying as much, because he would say, "Oh, that's just heretic scouting me every day. He never does anything. He's afraid to lose troops," or something like that. So that's the kind of the mentality that you need to get into. You need to try to think a step ahead of what your opponent may do when you scout. So I hope this helps. All right, take care.